Guys, in 4 weeks' time, we get to see a real fight. Real fight. CANELO, Saul Alvarez versus Gennady Golovkin, or should it be the other way around? Should I really say Golovkin first, Alvarez second? Probably. Let me tell you now, if there wasn't a thing called Mayweather-McGregor, May-Mac, all that crap, this would be hyped beyond reasoning. Beyond reasoning. But unfortunately, because of the two protagonists, Mayweather-McGregor this is, because of the money behind them, UFC, Showtime, whatever, Golden Boy just cannot compete with that budget. So I think if I'm Golden Boy, I just don't do any more promotion. I just wait until 27th of August and then I go hell for leather and promote the shit out of it because it deserves it. What you don't want, and I don't think it will get this anyway, but what you don't want is a situation like Andre Ward-Kovalev, which again for me, the rematch this is, was arguably the biggest fight this year. In terms of a boxing standpoint, in terms of two guys, top 5 pound for pound, which they are for me at the time anyway. I had Kovalev 5, Ward 3, going at it. You can't beat that, and it's a shame because I think they've done like 128,000 buys on the pay-per-view. Shocking. For what it is, for what it was, what it is. Obviously the fight didn't live up to it. Got stopped in the 8th. Was it 8th? Yeah, because of a couple of low blows, which I think was dirty. But regardless of what it is, that should have been a killer. Anyway, back to GGG Kovalev. Sorry, GGG, it could have been GGG Kovalev. GGG CANELO. I've done a video about 2 months ago saying we have been sold wolf tickets. Really, I should have done that for Mayweather-McGregor. We're not been sold wolf tickets. I'll take it back. This is going to be a fantastic fight. You have two guys that are quite similar to each other, right? I think both have opponents they would always struggle with. I think both will struggle with opponents that just move, have a bit of better movement, better hand speed. I think we saw that with, to an extent, with Jacobs versus Golovkin, and we also saw it to an extent with Lara versus CANELO. Obviously, Mayweather beat CANELO as well. So guys with movement will cause those guys problems. It's just not everyone can have everything. You know, they are good at most things, but in terms of speed, they're not both fantastic. Let's be honest. They kind of walk you down. They will land great shots, but in terms of speed, no. In terms of experience, Canelo's been in with the names, right? I think that's fair to say. I mean, you look at his resume, you look at names like Mosley even, so that was an early one for him. That was a big fight in terms of a name, being on there, the big stage. Mayweather obviously huge. He's not going to get bigger than that probably till he dies, no disrespect. Cotto, another big fight. Look, Cotto wasn't the Cotto, but regardless, he had a big fight against a big name in Cotto. So this is a guy that clearly isn't afraid of the limelight, isn't afraid of fighting on the big stage. Amir Khan was a big-ish fight. It still happened there. He's ready for anyone and anybody and anything at any time because he's proven that. He's shown that. Even in the Mayweather fight, yes, some people say he got embarrassed. I thought he done okay. I thought Mayweather was just worldly that day. I think he done okay. He was aggressive, and then unfortunately he just got picked off. Mayweather's done that to every single opponent he's fought, really. Minus maybe a couple. Castillo, Maidana. I mean, a couple more. But we can know he can adapt to the big stage. Golovkin, what's his two biggest fights? You probably say Brook and Jacobs. You probably say Brook and Jacobs in terms of audience appeal, in terms of the numbers of people that are interested in the fight. Brook, I think somewhat exposed him. I have to admit it. I think Brook was the first person to almost expose him for the hand speed and lack of hand speed and lack of foot movement. I've always looked at Golovkin, and I'm a massive Golovkin fan, by the way. I have him as number 3, 4 pound for pound. I've always looked at Golovkin as someone that, because of his amateur experience, knows how to cut off the ring very well. But I don't know if he's just been in there with really slow opponents that have made him been able to do that very easy. I think Kell Brook showed that, yes, he walks you down, but he's almost just doing the same thing repetitively, just walking you down rather than cutting you off. And I feel like he got exposed, and I think Danny Jacobs took advantage of that as well. But what we've both got to understand, I say both, all of you guys watching, he won those fights. You hear a lot of criticism. Kell Brook, he beat him. The referee stopped it, the corner stopped it, everyone to say, broken eye socket. Kell Brook will never, ever be the same fighter again. Fact. Danny Jacobs, great fight. Danny Jacobs is probably the second best middleweight in the world. Don't let these people fool you now and say Canelo is. Danny Jacobs is probably the second best middleweight in the world right now. Good fight. I had Golovkin winning by 1. Some people had it by 2. Some people had a draw. I think the majority of people had it either a draw or Golovkin win. No one really had it for Jacobs. So again, the 2 biggest fights on the 2 biggest stages where he's been probably exposed the most, he still got the job done. If this fight happened 18 months ago, I wouldn't even do a video for it. Golovkin destroys him. But that's about making fights. It's about building fights. Maybe it didn't make the same money if it went 2 years ago. Right now, Canelo looks strong. Canelo looks bigger. He looks more determined. He thinks that in fighting someone like Chavez, even though Chavez was weight drained, he's fought someone who probably is naturally bigger than Golovkin. Golovkin is a small middleweight. So he's probably thinking, I've handled the weight. I felt the weight of someone a lot bigger than me. I think Kirkland's probably a lot bigger than him as well. So I'm ready for that extra power. Simple answer is you're not. You're not. Golovkin hits hard. Golovkin has been waiting for this fight. I'm not trying to say Canelo won't do him problems, because Canelo certainly will. But I just feel like Golovkin just is Canelo, just better. I honestly feel like he's a bit better. I think I'll give the edge and hand speed to Canelo just. But in terms of ring IQ, I've got a Golovkin. I think people forget the amateur experience. I've got Golovkin as ring IQ. In terms of power, come on now, don't be silly. Golovkin. In terms of strength, they are different. I go for Golovkin as well. Golovkin, I don't know, he's naturally the bigger, by the way. I think he's taller. I think Canelo's frame's a lot bigger, so Canelo might have a natural... Canelo might come into the ring a bit heavier than him. But Golovkin wants this fight. Abel Sanchez is begging for this fight. People might say he's been begging for it for the payday. I don't know. I think he's begging for it because, yes, it brings money, but at the same time, you beg for something you know you can handle. Just the way it is. You know you can do this. That's why you ask for the fight a lot of times. And you see a lot of fighters do that. A lot of fighters will randomly call someone else out and people are like, huh? Because that fighter knows. They've studied him. They've seen him in sparring. They know what they can do with him. I think Golovkin wins this. And I think Golovkin could actually knock out Canelo. People might say, be surprised at that because Canelo hasn't really shown any susceptible flaws in his chin. But then again, I don't think he's been in anyone with the power that Golovkin has. This power is not a joke. This power really isn't a joke. And I think people will be very, very surprised how quick this could end. I think Golovkin could end this when Golovkin wants to end this. And I mean that. And people might say, you get the fuck out of it. I know Canelo fans will come for me. Golovkin is that good, people. He really is. Canelo's a special talent. But Golovkin's a very, very good talent. I watched the David Lemieux fight, and people might say, who the fuck is David Lemieux? He's a good boxer, that's who he is. I watched the David Lemieux fight. Golovkin won that with a jab. Just out-jabbed the shit out of him. Rarely threw power punches, just out-jabbed the shit out of him. I told you earlier, the problems that people have, the fighters that cause Golovkin problems are fighters that move. Canelo is not moving, that's the problem with him. He is one fiery motherfucker, and he is coming in there to stand and trade. Big mistake. Big mistake. Do not stand and trade with Golovkin, and that's what he's going to do because he has a big ego, and I think that's going to be the downside of the fight for him. I think he can hurt Canelo. I don't think Canelo can really hurt Golovkin. One thing I saw Jacobs land power shot. I saw Curtis Stevens, a known chin checker, land a couple. Just bounced off him. Just bounced right off him. Like, ding, ding. Golovkin is going to end this when he wants. Record this statement right now. This fight doesn't go past 7. It only goes past 7 if Golovkin wants it to go past 7. He has been begging for this. This is his showcase. This is his come out party. He's going to do this. He isn't going to worry about cleaning up 160 because there's no point. Billy Joe Saunders, he might do it actually. Billy Joe Saunders does represent a money fight in the UK. But then he's going headhunting in the 168 division. And when I look at that 168 division, now Andre Ward is gone. DeGale might go. Badou Jack's gone. Groves, Chris Eubank Jr., you are in trouble.